We don't need the headphones. Welcome to Margaret W. Wong and Associates, English Question and Answer with Margaret W. Wong, the immigration attorney. Before we get started, please text your questions into Facebook Live feed and we'll present the questions to Attorney Wong. To set up a consultation with Attorney Wong, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. Mrs. Wong, how are you today?
I'm doing very well, Mr. Corey.
Thank you so much. And what's the latest news in immigration?
Right now, after October 26th of 2023, all the work permit that was not approved, it goes back to 180-day extension. Before October 26th, it was a 540-day automatic extension. So you could use that 540 days, go give it to your boss, give it to the driver's license bureau, and they'll give you automatic 1 or 1.5 year extension. After October 27th, it goes back to 180 days. It's like Cinderella. After midnight, it goes back, but still, you still have 180 days. But all the approvals that's coming in after October 1st, now you got 5 years. Not all, but C8, C9, A10, and C10. And A5, these 5 kinds, 5 years.
Thank you so much for that information, Ms. Wong. Again, to set up a consultation, please call 216-279-3984. We'll go to our first question here. And that is, I applied for asylum. Now my case is taken off docket. EAD is expiring on January 2024, what will happen to my case?
Oh, that's very good. Congratulations. If you didn't file asylum within 1 year, or you don't have reason that you missed the 1 year, off docket is a good thing because you don't have to go to court anymore, but you can keep extending your work permit. I don't know if you filed yet. It seemed like even if your file is not approved, as I said earlier, the approval now you get is 5 years. So keep the A case off docket, do the 5-year work permit. Now, if it's a very good case, you want it back on docket because you can win the case. Asylum cases filed within a year or even after a year, if you have a good story, it's not difficult. It's the hardest of all cases, but it's also the easiest of all cases, the asylum. So don't accept off docket. Look at the case, come up with some really good. All of us have a story to tell. Anybody who came to America knew. So don't just go on, oh, future fear, past fear, what country. Just think about why we come to America. I think that's very important.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. As we go to our next question, my husband is from Mexico. He overstayed his tourist visa in 2015. We have 2 beautiful children, and I filed for him in 2019, right before the pandemic. I think I did it incorrectly.
Are you an American citizen or green card? If he came to America legally and you have the green card at that time, if you file it in less than 6 months after entry, he should have his work permit. In those cases, C9 is still 2 years. He could have gotten a parole. I don't necessarily, but if you are a citizen, if you want to, if you don't have a lawyer, you may want to call our office, email us all the filing. I can go through the filing for you to see what was incorrect. But lately under Biden, they may even have interview waivers. So legal entry, overstay, married to an American citizen, sometimes they don't even need an interview. I don't know if you got a parole, you got a work permit good for 2 years, then you have to extend, because all work permit under C9 is free. That means that you only, the first payment is $1,225. I hope you paid it. That's for the 485. The I-130 should be $535. All future work permit and parole is included in that $1,225. So I don't know if you pay. It could be you only filed the I-130, because most even lawyers do that. They wait for the I-130 to be approved and then file the 40. I don't know what you have filed, but if you're a citizen, this should be it should not be that difficult. I should not be a no-brainer, because I shouldn't say that, but it should not be a difficult case. And I hope you filed tax return. If he already got the a work permit and social, make sure both of you file tax return. If he doesn't, still file tax return and tax ID number and no criminal records.
Thank you, Mrs. Wong, for that answer. If you do need to email the law firm, email us at info@imwong.com. If you need to call for a consultation, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. Our next question is, I am from Venezuela. I came in 2022 with 3 young children. I applied for asylum. Supposedly, I will get my work permit in March. Can I apply for TPS without a work permit?
Apply for TPS. If you want to apply for parole, go ahead, but do not leave America and go back to Venezuela. You should not have a bad case. You may be able to win the case, but file the TPS as soon as possible, because TPS for Venezuelan is extended till June 30th of 2023. Hurry up and file it.
My children are under 10. Do they need to be included in my TPS?
Include it. You may not need the the 765. You save $410, but file the 821. 100% file it, because one day they may cut off registration or no more Venezuelan. You'll be out.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. If you need to make a consultation with Attorney Wong or the immigration attorneys here, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. Our next question comes from this person who texted this. They applied for asylum in 2016. They don't have the interview date yet. A congresswoman helped them by putting an expedite processing request, which got approved in January of this year. We're in November and they haven't heard back yet.
I know, that's the problem. I don't know where you live. New York is very slow. Nashville used to be pretty fast because they go through New Orleans and they're really nice. So it depends on where you live. No interview not necessarily is a bad thing. Depends on where you're from. Everybody is doing the best they can, because that was the beginning of Trump. Trump came in 2017. Trump is last in, first out. Obama was first in, first out. Biden went back to first in, first out. Actually, Biden is, I feel so sorry for President Biden now. Everybody is coming. So it's really sort of sad. But make sure you get the 5-year work permit, and I know you want that residencia, but don't just let people talk you into pushing, because the only reason why you push is because you want to win the case. If it's a more than 1 year filing, or if your children are very, very sick, maybe you want to push, but sometimes it's better not to push. Not every case you can win, and not every case, just because you got an interview, you can win it. It's like the art of war. I always look at being an immigration lawyer, any lawyering, any doctoring is the art of war. How do you conquer this disease in your body? My job is, how do I conquer the fact that I came to America and became undocumented? How do I help you stay in America for the long, long, long period? In the meantime, get your work permit. In the meantime, hopefully get residencia.
So the backlog is both good and bad for new Americans?
Yes. Yes, all backlogs are not bad. There's on a marriage case, because if you push, in the meantime, you got divorced, you would never get the green card. Worse is, they may say it's a sham marriage and that. Sometimes it's better not to push, and miraculously, sometimes you get it, because as long as you are separated and not divorced, you should still get the green card if it's their delay, not yours. There are ways to get around that.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. If you need to contact the law firm for a consultation with the immigration attorney, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. Our next question, Ms. Wong, is, one moment, please. Yes. So kindly update us with the policy on EAD renewals.
Okay, EAD renewals, number one, if you didn't get it renewed yet, you should show your boss 4 things. Number one, your old driver's license that's expiring, or new driver's license, your old receipt notice, your old work permit that expired or not expired, and the 180-day extension, you can download that from the computer. That automatically give your boss or the driver's license bureau to give you a 180-day extension. If you got the work permit, anything after October 1st with the 5 categories, you can get a 5-year. If they only give you 2 years, they should not, because all the cases I have, I'm getting 5 years now on those 5. Let me repeat those 5: C8, C9, C10, A5, and I forgot the last one. C14 is still 4 years. C11 is still up to parole. But it should be C8, C9, C10, A10, A5. Got it. A10 is withholding. C10 is when you are pending 10-year cancellation. So those 5, you should get 5 years. The rest is only up to the old dates. But C14 now is 4 years. So if you have an abuse case, Wawa, C14, a dependency case, C14, that should be 4 years. Under Trump is 0 years. Under Obama is 1 year. Under Biden, 4 years.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. If you need to make a consultation, set up a consultation with the immigration attorney, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. The law firm does have offices in Atlanta, Chicago, Columbus, Cleveland, Nashville, New York, and Raleigh. So if you are near one of those cities, you can talk with our attorneys in those offices. Here's another question. My husband is from Mexico, and he overstayed his tourist visa in 2015. We have 2 beautiful children, and I filed for him.
Answered that.
Did I just ask that one?
Yes,
I apologize.
That's a legal entry overstay case.
Okay.
And she thinks she made a mistake. I don't think she did.
Right.
Thank you. Let's talk about what's going on. Right now, for example, I just got a call this morning from new arrivals. So I have a Honduras man. He really loves his family. He came like in the 90s for 3 or 4 years. He went back home. And the amazing thing is he flew back. He came back illegally or was never caught. So, and then he came in illegally again for a few years, made enough money and went back. Normally, it doesn't apply to the Central Americans. Normally, the Mexicans will go back and forth until 04, 05, 03, and then we stopped. But not that, but this man, I respect him. And then now he has 3 beautiful kids in Honduras. And he's the one who told me that rumors are, it's very easy now to come to America. So his wife and 3 kids are now here in America, but in jail. So he's really nervous because in the meantime, he came back in 2021 to make enough money to, pay for the trip for them to come to America. So these are new things that's coming in. And I think President Biden and Mr. Mayorkas are so nervous now about, winning the race for the second run. So what do we do with these people? It's just like the Israel and Palestinian war. What do you do? Because both sides are right, but both sides are wrong, I know what I would support, but I couldn't talk about it here. But that's what's happening in America. But personally, I really feel that America needs to pay attention and totally their right to give the 5-year work permit and hurry up on the approvals, because I have cases that's filed, especially in June, July, August of 2022 that's still not approved. It's just aggravating, when cases that we filed in August or September of 2023 already got the 5 years and cases that's before. So America immigration policy is really a mess. But people need to remember those of us who came 25 years ago, 30 years ago, somehow we were very honest. We didn't have family or parents to support us. So now we're stuck here. Our kids are all over 21. We came undocumented, so we still cannot get a green card. So these are cases where, whoever will listen, whoever wants to write an op-ed article in the newspaper, whoever wants to support, whoever president you want to support, I know who I'm going to support. Really, you need to talk to your congressman. That's exactly what this young lady is saying, that, she pushed for her interview that was filed in 2016. The congresswoman got an approval, still no interview. people are just powerless. I mean, and then everybody's angry. There's a lot of mental issues with men and women, teenagers. People are committing suicide. I can tell you story after story of people like us, that what we are going through, because the ages of our people are maturing, and we can't just let them, because they have no voice, and they're very nice people. Most of them, they just file their tax return, they work to support, and I have the children who are becoming doctors and lawyers, and the parents didn't have a green card. So I keep telling them, on your college application, make sure you write down not only your first gen, the parents are undocumented. And use the word illegal. It doesn't matter what we use, so at least they got into good colleges. And most of them, they couldn't even get scholarships because their parents have no papers. It's really sort of sad, not fair.
Thank you, Ms. Wong. Our next question. My I-730 was approved a few weeks ago and sent to the Department of State. How long does it take for them to notify me on what I should do?
Wait, 730, you didn't have to send to a Department of State unless you're talking about the kid is overseas, then I feel bad. So 730 should not go through, normally it doesn't go through NVC, it goes directly to the American Embassy overseas, because they don't come, you don't need to show them tax return. NVC are for immigrant visas. So my gut is 730 should not be going to NVC. It should go directly to the American Embassy. For example, China was such a huge country, only Quanzhou. But 730 could go to Beijing, go to Shanghai. So I don't know what country you're from. But maybe you can also send them an email, but it shouldn't take too long. 730 approval, it depends on the child. If they're under 10, 12 years old, they don't need a fingerprint. But it shouldn't take them too long. 730 is good. That means the parent already got the green card approval. And you need, and I don't know why, because I think I remember you. I don't know why your 730 is taking so long. I remember when you got, if you're the person I'm thinking about, you got your approval a long time ago. Why is 730 taking so long? But maybe have a congressman go to senator's aide, Alan Kinker and J.D. Vance. Oh, I'm sorry. Office, she's really good. Maybe talk to one of those congressionals and see if they can push American Embassy for interview, not NBC.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. If you wish to make a consultation with the immigration attorney, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. Our next question is, hi, how long is the wait time for the U visa EAD if I filed in April?
April when? April 28th.
2022.
Okay, so it depends. If you file it together with them, it may, if you didn't get it by now, because the new ones, you get it very fast, it's only 22. Normally, I tell people from date of filing and date of approval is 1.5 to 2 years. But because you only filed in 2022, it should be faster. But if I were you, I would check, because most lawyers, by 21 or 20, they don't even file C14 work permit. I'm thinking you're only asking C14. The A19, A20, which is good for 4 years, will not come for another 6 or 7 years. But the C14, if not, should have been here, should take from date of filing 1.5 to 2 years, because it went on the old date, because Biden came up with a new law just a few months ago. So during that period, a lot of C14 came in. Now the C14, because they are really busy adjudicating the border cases, the Venezuelan cases, the parole cases, they're coming in, the CP1 cases. And the sad thing about U visa C14, there's no budget for it, because it's just a presidential program, C14. So anytime you have like 730, C14, these are like little programs. There's no budget. It's not like a marriage case, a green card, or I-130, or the court. There's a big millions of dollars of budget to hire people.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. Again, if you wish to make a consultation with the immigration attorneys, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984.
What did that? I couldn't see. This is my reading glasses. Right. I'm really sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So this one is, I came here in the U.S. with the L1.
So I wonder why you have a 730. What did they say?
This is a different
Oh, that's a case.
question.
Okay, different case. Okay, I'm sorry.
So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
person came.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 730 is asylum grant. And the kid was, even if the kid now is 28, if you file asylum when the kid is under 21 under the Child Protection Act that came in the year 2000, the child is still C-SPA. So all of you who are listening, don't worry if the child is over 21. As long as a parent filed their asylum under 21, your age is forever frozen. You could be 40 years old. You are still C-SPA. Sorry.
This next question, the person came here to the US with an L1, but now his company is cutting employees.
Sorry.
If he loses his job, can he apply
That's a
for a
problem.
student visa?
Yes, immediately do a 539 to student visa. There's a premium processing now for a student visa. So you can premium is like $1,200, $1,250. Absolutely do premium, or if not, absolutely do a student visa. Another thing is knowing your L1, you're really smart, you make a lot of money. L1 people are very smart and make a lot of money. If you have a degree, make sure you get another job and try to get into a H1 lottery on February 1st. There's a lot of my L1. The sad thing is there's a gap. So get it into F1 and then keep looking for a job and get into the status for February. If you got into lottery and then April 1st to April 5th, you file the H1B. And make sure you show tax return because L1, because of your high income, you get it. Also, your wife, make sure she had the work permit. If she didn't, also make sure that you keep filing tax return even though you lose your job. And remember, your L1 status expires on the day of your last paycheck. So if they give you severance, that they give you, make sure you remember that last paycheck. Because and then you have a 60-day grace, but it's questionable if L1 now. It's just complicated, but absolutely do it now. Don't wait, because by the time maybe your payroll check finish, you should be on F1 because there's no grade. I mean, there is a 30-day grace, but what I meant is once the last paycheck is done, normally they're pretty strict on that student visa, change of status and stuff like that.
Thank you for that answer,
No
Mrs.
problem.
Wong. If you wish to make a consultation with the immigration attorney, please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. This person says that they missed their asylum court hearing. What will happen to their case?
I'm sorry. Maybe go on the internet under ICE. I think it's IC. I don't know. My internet, I already have that punch in there. But get on the internet, check your A number. I think it's ICE. Not call my office. They'll give you the email number or the web number. They'll tell you if they gave you a continuance or call the 800 number or call the court. They'll tell you if you miss it, you already have a removal order, or if they give you a continuance. If it's within, like, as soon as possible, hurry up and do a filing to reopen, explain why you missed it. You may be in the hospital, you may be pregnant, the baby's here, stuff like that, but you need a really good reason. If you don't have a lawyer, talk to us. I can look at the case for you.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. If you wish to make a consultation with the immigration attorney, please call 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. And so we're getting close to the end of our conversation today. Do you have any final comments?
Yes. So I've been talking especially to some women who have been here 10, 15, 25 years and stuff, and the children are mostly over 21 or 18, 19, and they're just awesome kids. And I just respect them so much. Most of them are very good in sports. They have scholarships going to come. Don't give up, even though you've been here for a long time. There may be always something you can do, especially when we still have Biden here, because it's not, I mean, right now, aside from they are beginning to deport again, but try not to have any criminal records. Deportation is not that. But if ICE wants to report, keep reporting, whatever, but make sure you have no criminal records. If you have a criminal record, make sure you get a copy of it. So if ICE stop you something, at least you have a copy. It's easier for lawyers to work with.
Thank you for that answer, Mrs. Wong. The Margaret W. Wong and Associates law firm has 14 attorneys. Currently, we do 2 Facebook radio shows every week. At 9:30 on Wednesdays, we have the bilingual Spanish program. And then on Thursdays at 12:30 Eastern Time, we have the English program. It's a really wonderful opportunity to get your questions answered for free. But if you need to arrange a consultation, again, please call us at 216-279-3984. That's 216-279-3984. And we'll see you next week. Thank you so much, Mrs. Wong.
Thank you, Mr. Gordon.